Well, hey, music teachers. If you are looking for music students to fill your teaching studio, awesome. You're in the right place. Welcome to the Ultimate Music Teachers Live Show. I'm your host, Gloria St. Germain, and with me today is the fantastic Joanne Barker. Joanne, are you ready to help our fellow music educators find their ideal students?
Absolutely, Glory. Hello, everyone. We know how important it is to fill our studio with students who are not only passionate about learning music, but they also need to be the right fit for your teaching style. So let's dive into our top 10 tips to find your ideal music student.
Ooh, I like it, Joanne. So, number one. Tip number one is define your ideal student.
Mhm.
So, first things first, when you define your ideal student, think about the age group, right? The
Mhm.
skill level, uh, musical interests, personality traits that align with your teaching style. I think the clearer you are about who you want to teach, the easier it will be to attract those ideal students.
I completely agree with that, Gloria. To create a profile of your ideal student and use it as your guide, for all of your marketing and communication, we can't be everything to everybody. So, who is it you want to teach? That way you're going to attract the students who are genuinely interested in what you have to offer. So, what's next?
Yeah. So, tip number two is to leverage your network.
Hmm.
Now, your network is actually
Mhm.
a gold mine. Reach out to friends and family and current students for referrals. And you might even want to reach out to past students as well. And I know you and I have always shared that one of the most important things of all is absolutely word of mouth. And it's incredibly powerful. So ask them to spread the word about your lessons to their contacts as well. Don't be afraid to reach out.
Oh, no kidding. And social media is like word of mouth on steroids. You can share your teaching successes. Are you getting your studio ready now? Put a picture of your, studio saying, look at me, I'm getting things ready. Did a stack of books just come in from your supplier that you ordered books from Ultimate Music Theory and they've just arrived? Take a picture of those books. Get the excitement going. Share those successes your students have had, your student achievements in your profile. I had a student who sat and played at one of those public pianos somewhere and she shared it on
Yes.
social media and I shared that. Share those kind of things. It's just one great way to encourage some more publicity and some more notoriety and just some comments to increase your visibility in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. It's brilliant, Joanne. So, tip number three is to optimize your online presence. So, you were kind of sharing a little bit about that. And speaking of visibility, let's talk about your online presence as an educator. Sometimes we share our little stories
Mm.
about, oh, I went to the park with my dog today and things like that, which is great. But you also want to make sure that your website is professional and it's easy to navigate and it showcases your teaching philosophy, testimonials, and it's an easy way for you to reach out to others to share your website link if you have one or your Facebook page. And it's also make sure that there's an easy way, and this is important. So, for those of you taking notes, you want to make sure it's easy for them to contact you. How do you want to be reached? By phone, by email, WhatsApp, on your messenger, like whatever way, you want to make sure it's an easy way to contact you so they can sign up with you for lessons.
And one thing I just thought about, Gloria, is don't underestimate the power of SEO. What is SEO? That's search engine optimization. So if you've got like listed that you do this, and this on your website, you want to narrow that down because you want to focus in. So when somebody Googles, I want piano lessons for a 9-year-old who likes jazz, you want to be that one that pops up for them. Or I teach lessons in X town, you want to have that show up, piano teacher in X town. So make sure you don't overload your content. Make sure you keep it refined so that, we do like lots of contacts getting a hold of us, but we also want to maximize the use of our own time and streamline that process. So use relevant keywords like piano lessons in X town, or maybe you're going to teach classical music, maybe that's what you want to do. So put that down, so you're already saying to people, here's what I do, Here's
Yep.
who I am. So it kind of keeps it down. And, keep your content fresh too, with blog posts and videos. And as I said, with that one student who was playing on the public piano, student spotlights are always a great way to drive traffic. Everybody loves to see the smiling face and the success of a student.
Yeah. And I remember you sharing that. And, I think one of the great things is, we like to brag about our students.
Mhm.
And I think when people see the success of your teaching in your students, it also attracts them to you because you're fun and engaging and students want to learn from you. So, tip number 4 is utilize social media marketing. So social media is your friend. I know some people are like, oh, I just don't know if I want to do this, but it's your friend. Use the platforms like Facebook, Instagram, even TikTok, post engaging content, show behind the scenes glimpses of your lessons, your student performances, and practice tips. And remember, if you are using little clips from your students, that you always ask permission from parents and students so that you're not, showcasing students that don't want to be seen on social media. But it is a great way to really get to know you as a music educator.
Exactly. And one of my favorite tips to share with people is to join local community groups. To just, sponsored ads are great. I've been getting sponsored ads from local piano teachers. Well, I'm not looking for lessons. So, we want to make sure that we're targeting the people we need to target. Some parent groups, some local buy and sell groups, you might need to ask permission from the admin of the group. But those groups, that is where the word of mouth on steroids really kicks into action, right? Share your expertise generously and subtly let people know that you offer music lessons. Like I asked, can I post an ad in your Facebook group? And they said yes. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. You could just subtly say, so excited for my upcoming year of piano lessons. And
Right.
if they want to contact you, they'll send you a private message. So do check with the admin of the group. You don't want to get banned from those groups because they are gold. They're a wonderful place to be. And quite often with things, I've had a whole ringette team once. I taught all of them because word of mouth kicked in, and one saw, on a social media post in the spring that they're at recital. Oh, what was that? And then next fall, I had all the kids in my classes. So, it's all about building relationships and trust with those people. And it's a great way to do it.
Yeah, that's so good. That's such great advice, Joanne. Thank you for that. So let's go to tip number 5. Tip number 5 is to host free workshops
Mm.
or master classes. So, when you're hosting free workshops or master classes, it's a great way to attract your potential students. So, as you were saying, Joanne, if you teach jazz, maybe you want to do a free workshop on like how to play jazz and improvise like a pro, whatever it might be. But it will attract your ideal students. So these events give prospects a taste of, your teaching style and the value that you offer. Plus, it's an opportunity to really showcase your talents as a teacher. Like, what is your area of expertise? You might not even think of that. You might just say, well, I'm a music teacher. I teach all ages and I teach all styles. Yes, but we still have one area that we kind of are most passionate
Mhm.
about. Some of us love classical, some of us love jazz, some of us are composers, such as Joanne. So, what is your area of expertise? Showcase that and not only bring your expertise, but build rapport with your
Mhm.
potential clients. That's one of the most important things.
Totally, totally. You could invite current students to bring a friend. You could do that free class for your own students and say, hey guys, I'm opening this up to everybody. Or you could advertise in one of those Facebook groups, or put little signs up like we did in the good old days in the grocery store. Actually, grocery stores are a great place to put up signs, aren't they?
Yeah,
Or on a
right.
local mailbox of those places. Some libraries will let you put it up and some won't. So again, check with those kind of places, but advertise the event locally. And if you have a local small paper in a community paper, ask to get an article put in there. It's a great way to generate that, wow, this teacher's giving a free class. How wonderful is that? The most important thing, make sure when you do that event to collect the contact information from the attendees. And you're going to contact them and say, thank you so much for coming to the class. And if you're interested in more information, here's, let me know. So you want to follow up with them afterwards, because once you get that contact, if they've expressed the interest in coming to your free class, it's worth contacting them. And they might not sign up this year, but they might sign up next year. We never know, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely, Joanne. And I think that's one of the key factors sometimes is we don't think of ourselves as marketers. We think of ourselves as music teachers. So
Mhm.
it's really important to think about how can we grow our teaching business? And that brings us to tip number 6, which is partner with local schools and community centers. So when you're partnering with local schools, community centers, and other organizations, this can really open doors to new students. And we want to think about too that sometimes you might say, "Oh, I did that and they said no," or "I did that and they said no." If we come to obstacles, sometimes we need to go
Mhm.
beyond that. Sometimes we need to speak to the actual director. And it's all about rapport building and develop relationships. Offer to conduct, a music program or after school activities. This not only helps you to connect with students, but again, it also builds your reputation within the community, which is really essential for your business growth.
Oh, totally. And don't forget about libraries. A lot of libraries do have a story time, right, on for mums and tots. If you offered to go into that library and said, I'd love to come in and help you out one week and do a music and movement class for you, that librarian might just say, oh, thank goodness. That would be
Yes.
such a help to me. That means I don't have to plan one week, right? Because it's a lot of burden on those librarians who are running those programs. So you offer to do that free event and just ask her, is it okay if I hand out everybody a little brochure at the end of the class or leave them on the table or whatever? It's a great way to get your foot in the door. And, churches are good too. If they've got, I know our local churches do summer camps. I played piano. It was a great way when I was just building my group lessons. I went in and offered, would you like me to be your pianist for this year? I did it for free for 5 days. It was like an hour commitment every day for 5 days. But did I get students out of it? Yep, I did. And how about community events? There's things like, Christmas carol singing, and maybe there's a summer event in the park, or maybe you can offer to do a summer park. Our local park has a ukulele group that meets every Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Things like that, right? Just kind of, as I like to say, chuck the box away, think outside the box, and how can you get yourself out in the community in front of people? These create wonderful, wonderful networking opportunities.
Yeah, so true, Joanne. And one of the things you said that really resonated with me was that when you are doing these events and you are handing out information, here's a little bonus tip for you before we get into tip number 7. A little bonus tip is when you are handing out your brochure or whatever it is that you want to hand out at these events, make sure that that piece of paper, whatever you're handing out, that brochure has value. So, for example, on the back of our brochure, we have included for me when I'm at marketing for students inside our Ultimate Music Teachers membership, you'll see it there. Um, we have brochures that have like the circle of fifths on the back, or it might have a keyboard on the back, or it might have something where parents want to hang on to that because it has value. And it also has a great opportunity for them to reach out to you. It might also include some testimonials from previous students. So,
Mhm.
really think about the way that you design those marketing materials. So, it's not just oh, yeah, business card. You can include a QR code on it, make it
Mhm.
something that they want to hang on to. So, thanks, Joanne, for starting me on that brain little spin.
Awesome idea. Awesome.
We have so many ideas. When Joanne and I get together, it's like, look out.
Lots of ideas.
So, tip number 7,
Mhm.
which kind of is coming from what I just shared with you, is tip number 7 is offer trial lessons. So
Mhm.
when you're handing out your brochure, you might even have it right on there. Contact me and get in on our free trial lesson. Now, trial lessons are a fantastic way to let potential students experience your teaching firsthand, and it also lets you know a little bit about how the students like to learn. So you might want to offer a discounted free lesson, or a discounted lesson or a free lesson, whatever works for you. And that way you can attract new students and you can really give them a taste of like, well, what is it like to have a music lesson with you? What do you teach? And inside the Ultimate Music Teachers membership, we have tons of games, activities, posters, downloadable online activities that actually Joanne has created. She's our creative design expert. And when you come into these try it lessons, you want to make sure to be really engaging with your students so that they'll go, oh my goodness, that was so much fun. Yes, I want to sign up. So you'll have students excited and running into class, ready to learn from you. So give
And
it a go.
Glory, on the back of that brochure that you're going to hand out at that event, I've done this numerous times because I used to do a registration event. Actually, I organized it. But if you go to a library or community center and do a free class, on the back, put a little thing saying, this is your ticket into a free class in my studio. One marketing tool that really worked for me are those trial lessons. And I had the parent come with the child, and just like other things in life, at the end of the lesson, when one person came over and said, I could about 20 minutes, right? When one parent came over and said, well, how do I register? The other parent goes, oh, I better register. Oh, I better register. And then suddenly everybody's registering. So
Yeah.
the trial lesson, if you've never done one, is such a great way. And it's also a great way to kind of test out your first lesson and see what it feels like. If you've never taught a group before and you're going to do a trial theory club class, it's a great experience for you as the teacher and for the students. And then you just do that again next year and keep it going, right? So you want to make sure that trial lesson is engaging and fun. If you've got some rhythm instruments, some simple rhythm sticks or some little maracas or something, just to tap a rhythm. And you want to leave that student eager kind of to come back for more. They're like, oh, Mom, that was so much fun. Or Dad, I really loved it. Or Grandma, this was awesome. And don't forget to follow up with a personalized message. Make sure you record who's coming and keep their email and just stay in touch with them. Jot down what they say. If they say, I'd really love to do it, but we're so busy right now, I'd love to do it later. Put that note in your book. So when you contact them down the road, then you know exactly who they are and what they said, because it's hard to remember all that information, isn't it? So you want to really encourage them to sign up for those regular lessons and make it so irresistible they can't help but do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the keys to that too is to make sure to have fun.
Oh, fun.
We want to create lifelong learners, lifelong musicians. I'm still learning. I'm always in doing not only creating courses, but also doing courses. And in fact, we have our momentum course, which is inside the Ultimate Music Teachers membership. And this momentum course is so that you have all of the tools that you need to get started right now, so that you have all of this at your fingertips. Where do I find students? How do I teach music theory club classes? All the key things that really help you elevate your teaching business and also elevate your income. So it brings us to tip number 8. Collect and showcase testimonials.
Mm.
And I think this is really key. Testimonials from your happy students and parents are really, really powerful tools. And when we collect feedback and showcase it on your website, on social media, and on your promotional materials, that brochure that you're handing out that says, join us for a try it class, here's what Joanne had to say when she came to the try it class. Wow, it was amazing. So much fun. Couldn't wait to tell all my friends. And I signed up, with Joanne for a theory club camp, whatever it might be, right? Because even if you look at our website, ultimatemusictheory.com, you'll notice there's testimonials on there from our music theory teachers, Ultimate Music Theory certified teachers, teachers that are inside the Ultimate Music Teachers membership. And so it's important to recognize that. And it's free, right? If you ask, hey, could you give me a testimonial? They'll be excited to share their success story. So real success stories build credibility and trust. And sometimes they have words that you didn't even think about, and it will really build your profile as a professional educator.
And another great way of doing it is a video testimony. I can't even get words out of my mouth. It's a testimonial. And they're really impactful. You could ask students or parents if they're comfortable sharing their experiences on camera. And those authentic stories can really inspire others to join your studio. You want it to come from their soul and their heart. Some of my best testimonials have been in an email that have come to me, and I said, do you mind if I use this as a testimonial? And then there's other times when I've asked parents, would you mind writing me a brief testimonial? So they're typically very flattered when you ask, because it's like, wow, she values what I have to say. And that's awesome.
Yep.
Very
100%.
awesome.
So let's go to tip number 9, Joanne. Tip number 9 is creating engaging content. So content is king. And when you think about this, create engaging and educational content like a blog post. You could do videos, just upload it to a little YouTube channel. You can also be a guest on podcast. You might want to create your own podcast, share tips on practice techniques, music theory, or even fun facts about composers, inside the Ultimate Music Theory supplemental series. it's all about music history. And it's another thing you might be even teaching at the library. We also have all the videos that go along with it. So
Mhm.
it's really important that you are really showcasing these fun facts about composers. And now this also positions you as an expert, and it keeps your audience engaged. So don't be afraid to create some content.
Totally. And, regular content updates will keep you top of mind with your audience. To make one super great video, post it on Facebook, and then it gets lost. So make sure they don't have to be huge, they don't have to be long. And it's a great way to showcase your personality and your teaching style, attracting students who will really resonate with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And our final tip number 10. Woohoo, Joanne, this is the big one. Tip number 10 is to join professional organizations. And when you join professional organizations such as music teachers associations or local music teachers organizations, these organizations really provide important networking opportunities, their resources and credibility. And in fact, even in the Ultimate Music Theory Teachers membership, our organization is about community building and networking opportunities. So you want to make sure to take advantage of these incredible organizations.
Totally. I just had this happen to me this past week. Someone contacted me, a friend of one of my former students contacted me and said, I'm really interested in taking lessons with you. I live in North London, which is 45 minutes from me. And I said, well, actually, I know of a qualified UMTC teacher, Ginny, who happens to live closer to you. So it's, being part of a group of teachers, it's one thing to refer them to a list in your area of teachers you might not know, but when you join that organization and have that relationship with those teachers, you feel like you can refer them to them. You want to know the person you're referring them to and not just saying, well, I hear this person's really good. You want to know they are. And one way to do that is participating in events. Like we have our weekly coaching calls. That's how we get to know each other here. You could attend conferences and you could take advantage of the marketing tools that come with those organizations. Being a part of a professional community not only enhances your skill, but also connects you with potential students and their families. And thanks to this online world, right? Like we had Leanna teaching her husband was taking lessons from Tulane in Zimbabwe. So, we can connect with teachers and students all over the world now. So don't forget about making those contacts and connections with your teachers and associations for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you have it. I hope you were taking notes. It is the Ultimate Music Theory Teachers Top 10 Tips to find your ideal music students. And remember this, attracting the right students, it takes time and it takes effort, but it's worth it to build a professional music teaching studio full of engaged and passionate learners. So get to it.
Absolutely, Gloria. And for those who want to take your music teaching business to the next level, we invite you to join us inside the Ultimate Music Theory Teachers membership at teachumt.com.
Absolutely. And thanks, Joanne. Inside the Ultimate Music Theory Teachers membership, you'll find everything you need to learn, plan, teach, and grow your music teaching business with our courses, community, and coaching. And you can boost your productivity and your profitability.
And you don't have to do it all alone. Joining a supportive community of like-minded music educators and get started today. It makes a world of difference. Remember, visit teachumt.com to learn more and sign up. Let's enrich lives through music education together.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us today. We hope these tips have inspired you to find your ideal students and grow your teaching studio. So till next time, keep making musical minds make a difference in the world.
Bye, everyone, and we'll see you inside the Ultimate Music Teachers membership.
You bet. teachumt.com. We'll see you then.